Okay, for math today, we're going to be using our number rack some more to make 10 and to solve subtraction problems, okay? So find your make 10 paper, and if you want to use the online number rack I sent you or whatever you've been using to in place of your number rack, grab either one of those and we'll get started. Okay, so the front says write and solve an addition fact to match each of the number racks. So if you look at this example they give us, okay, right here, you're going to count the beads on the top row. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the top. So they put the number of beads that were on the top row in the first box. Then on the bottom row, there's only 1. So that one in the second box. So an addition problem means that we're adding, so it gets a plus sign. And then you did 9 plus 1 equals 10. Okay, so let's do a couple of these together. Okay, I have letter A up here. So we're going to figure out how many we have, how many beads we have for letter A. So I'm also going to, let's see, I'll tilt it down so you can see it. So we got 5 red and 3 white. So 5 and 3. So how many is that for the top row? 8. So I'm going to put 8 in my top box. Then on the bottom row, I moved how many red over? 2. So I'm going to put 2 in the next box. And they said to do addition problems, so I'm adding. So what sign do I put here? A plus sign. So 8 plus 2 is, okay, hopefully you knew the answer. If you didn't, you can count your beads. You got 8, okay, 8, 9, 10. So 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay, letter B looks like this. Okay, so how many do I have? How many red beads do I have? 5. How many white? 2. So altogether I have 7, and that's going to go in the top box. And then on the bottom I have how many beads on the bottom? 3. So that's going to go in the next box. And a plus or a minus sign. We're doing addition, we're adding, so it gets a plus sign. And 7 plus 3 is, if you said 10, you are correct. Again, if you didn't know, you can count your beads. We know there's 7 on top, so 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to go through and continue counting the beads for each row, okay? So the next one looks like that, okay? So I'm not going to draw the whole beads on the board, but I will help you do one more equation. So how many beads are on the top row? We've got 5 red and 1 white makes 6. How many on the bottom row? That's kind of a wonky box, isn't it? The bottom row has 4. Again, my plus sign. So 6 plus 4 is 10. Okay, so just continue pretty easy. Continue counting the beads on the top row. Put it in the top box. Count the beads on the bottom row. Put that in the middle box. They're all going to be a plus sign in the small box. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and give you let you know all the small boxes are going to be plus signs. And then you're going to put the answer. So like this one was 6 plus 4 equals 10. You're going to put the answer in the bottom box, okay? So that's what you're doing on the front. Okay, if you still need the board, pause the video and then hit play when you're ready to move on, because I'm going to erase this so we can use it the board for the back of the paper. Okay, on the back, It says solve each of the problems below and write the answers on the line, okay? So we're going to use the number rack to help us figure these out. Okay, so letter A says I have 6 beads, okay? So I'm going to move over 6 beads. Ready? Let's count it by twos. 2, 4, 6. So how many more beads do I need to make 10? How many more beads do I need to make 10? Well, there's a couple of ways that we can solve this. Okay? So one way would be we know we have 6 on the top. So we're just going to count 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now I've got 10 all together. I started with the top row, so I'm going to focus on the bottom row. So how many did I push over for the bottom row? If you said 4, you are correct. So letter A is 4. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so you can see the board and the beads. There we go, maybe that'll work. Okay, letter B. Okay, I'm going to show you another way you can solve these. We know we are starting, or we need to equal 10 on all of these 5 questions. We need to equal 10. So I'm going to start with 10 beads this time. So I have my 10 beads, but it says I have 3 beads. So how many more to make 10? Well, since I started with 10, I'm going to take away the number that they gave me. So how many beads does it say that I have? 3. So I'm going to take away 3 beads from the bottom. Okay, so I started with 10. I took away 3. How many are left? Okay, we've got how many on the top? 5. How many on the bottom? 2. So 5 and 2 make 7. Okay, so whichever way is easier for you. If it's easier to start with the 10 beads, continue doing it that way. If it's easier to start with the number it gives you, then continue doing it that way, okay? So it says we have 8 beads now, okay? So let's count it by twos again. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8. So now I've got 8 on the top, and I need a total of 10. So I'm going to go 8, 9, 10. How many did I put on the bottom row? 2. So letter C should be 2. That's a kind of crazy D there. Okay, letter D says I have 2 beads. Okay, so I've got my 2 on the top. So how many to make 10? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we've got 10 all together. So now we're going to count the bottom. Now that we've got 10 all together, we're counting the bottom to see how many we added. Okay, so let's count the bottom. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, or if you knew that there's 5 red and you see 3 white, so 5 and 3 is 8. Or you could have counted it by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8. But either way, we get 8. And 8 is how many more we needed to make 10. Okay, I'm going to do one more with subtraction. Okay, so I'm going to do one more starting out with 10. So we've got 10. Then it says I have 5. So I'm going to take away 5. So I'm just going to take away the entire bottom row. And how many am I left with on the top? 5. Okay, so now you're going to continue doing what we just did with the subtraction, okay? So I'll help you with the first couple. We have 10 to start with, and 10 minus 5, so I'm taking away the entire bottom row, is 5. So 10 minus 5 is 5. The next one says 9 minus 5, so I'm going to start with 9. So 5, 7, 9. And we're taking away how many? 5. We're taking away 5. So I know that there's 5 on the top row, so I'm just going to get rid of the whole top row. And how many am I left with on the bottom? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 9 minus 5 is 4. I'll do 2 more with you. You got 10 minus 3, okay? So I'm going to move all my reds back over because I know I've got 5 on top, 5 on the bottom, so I know 5 and 5 make 10. So I've got all my reds over there. So now 10 minus 3. So I'm going to get rid of 3 from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. So now how many do I have left? Okay, you could have counted it by ones, or if you remember that there's 5 on the top, just start with 5, and you see 2 on the bottom, 5, 6, 7, 5 and 2 make 7. So 10 minus 3 is 7. And one more in this section, we're going to do 9 minus 3. 9 minus 3. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I've got 5 on the top, 4 on the bottom, so I've got my 9, and now I'm going to take away 3, okay? So 1, 2, 3. How many am I left with? If you said 6, you are correct. So again, you can count them individually, or again, if you remember that there's 5 on the top, add 1, 5 and 1 make 6. Okay, so I want you to do the rest of the subtraction on your own, okay? Try to do your best to solve these subtraction problems. Again, you can continue to use your number rack, your beads, your Legos, M&Ms, whatever it is you've been using if you need the help. And once again, if you still need the board, pause the video and hit play when you're ready to move on. Because I'm going to erase this and we'll help you with the story problems, okay? So while I'm erasing this though, let's talk about something we should erase from our lives. You say, what do you mean erase from our lives? Well, there's something that we all have in our lives that we don't want to have in our life. We want to get rid of it. And it goes back to Adam and Eve. Remember, we talked about Adam and Eve in the garden, and they disobeyed God, and because of that, we were all born with this inside of us. And what is that we were all born with inside of us? If you said sin, that is the right answer. So we were all born with sin, but we don't want that sin in our hearts, right? And so we need to erase the sin from our lives. So you say, well, how do we do that? Well, the way to erase sin from your lives is to ask Jesus to take that sin away, right? You need to trust Jesus to save you and to take that sin away from your life. Okay, so just like Adam and Eve had to ask Jesus for forgiveness, we need to ask Jesus for forgiveness for our sins and ask him to take the sins away from our lives, okay? So, okay, we're talking about apples now in number 4. So apples, there were some apples in the bowl. Said the kids ate 3 of them. Now there are only 7 apples left in the bowl. How many apples were in the bowl to start? And it says show your work. Okay, so here we go. We got 7. The kids ate 3 of them. Now there's only 7 left. So I'm just going to do circles. If you want to show me your great artistic abilities that I know you all have and draw actual apples, that's great. I'm just going to do circles. If you want to do circles, that's fine too. If you just want to do sticks, okay, just whatever you want to do to show 7 apples. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's how many are left in the bowl. It says, though, that the kids ate how many of them? 3. So we'll put 7 here. So remember there's 7. And the kids ate 3. So I'm going to do kind of wonky circles to show that they were kind of eaten. Okay, so they took bites out of those apples. So they want to know how many apples were there in the bowl to start with. So what am I going to do? Right, I'm going to add 7 plus 3. So 7 plus 3 equals what? Equals 10. Okay, so if you said 10, you were correct. Okay, if you didn't know 7 plus 3 equals 10 and you counted the circles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's fine too, as long as you came to the correct answer of 10. And you're going to put the 10 in the line, on the line. Okay, so now I'm going to erase this from the board, just like we should erase sin from our lives with Jesus' help, right? He's the only one that can take our sin away. We can't do it on our own. No matter how hard we might try to take the sin away from our lives, the only way to totally get rid of the sin in our lives is with Jesus. Okay, so number 5 is the challenge. So put on your thinking caps. We're going to think really hard. It said Sarah had some marbles. She got 20 more marbles for her birthday. Okay, so I'm going to put 20 up here. And she got 30 marbles at the store. So now I'm going to put a 30. Now Sarah has 100 marbles. So now we've got a 100. How many marbles did she have to start? And they want you to show your work. So I've got all my numbers. If you want to go ahead and draw 100 marbles out, go for it. I'm not going to stand in the way, but I'm just going to use numbers, okay? So they want to know how many we had to start with. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with my 20 and my 30, okay? So I'm going to turn this into an addition problem, okay? So I'm going to do 20 plus 30. So to do this, I'm going to forget about this half of the equation for now, okay? So we're just going to look at 0 plus 0, okay? And what is 0 plus 0? 0. Okay, now we can look at the other half. So, okay, I'm going to cover up my zeros. Now we're just adding 2 plus 3. So 2 plus 3. And what is 2 plus 3? If you said 5, you would be correct. So she has 50 marbles now from the combination that she got at her birthday and the ones she got at her store. So she has 50 that she just gained. But her total is 100. So now we need to figure out, they still want to know how many she started with. So I'm going to do a subtraction problem now. So I'm going to go 100 minus 50. So the biggest number goes on top. And I'm going to subtract 50, okay? You say, that's too many numbers. I'm confused. Stop. Miss Ellen, stop. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Okay, we're going to do this real simple. Ready? Again, cover up that part of it so you just have your zeros. Okay? And we all know 0 minus 0 is 0. That's real easy, right? You know 0 minus 0 is 0. Now I'm going to cover up my zeros. And now I just have 10 minus 5. 10 minus 5. I'm going to throw in the number rack again in case you need the help. So I've got my 10 beads. I'm going to take away 5, so I'm going to take away the bottom half. And how many was I left with on top? 5. So 10 minus 5 is 5. And now when I move my paper, we learn that 100 minus 50 is 50. So we just did double-digit addition and multiple-digit subtraction. Okay? So it's not as hard as we tend to make things, and we do that a lot, don't we? In life, sometimes we make things harder than they need to be, when really, if we just stop, take a deep breath, look back at the whatever problem it is we're facing, ask for help, ask who can help us the best when we need help. God can help us the best. Ask to step back from our problems ask God for help, and He will help us see the answer, okay? So a lot of times we overcomplicate things, just like this challenge problem looks super complicated, but we simplified it. And that's what Jesus does with the problems in our lives. He will simplify them for us. We may not always see it at the beginning that He's there simplifying things for us, because our timing and God's timing may not always match. But He knows what is best, and when He is ready to give us the answer, He will always give us the answer that we need, okay? So we simplified things. And we learned that Sarah had 50 marbles to start with. Okay, so you can put 50 in the blank. Okay, so however you want to show your work, if you want to do this equation, these equations, 20 plus 30 is 50. 100 minus 50 is 50. So she had 50 marbles to start with. Or if you have another way that makes more sense to you to work it out, show that work, okay? So whatever works best for you. So if you have any problems or get stuck, need help with anything, have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me, and I will be very happy to help you, okay? So before I stop this video, let's do our calendar. So I'm going to erase this. So if you need it, pause it, and then hit play again. Okay, so we are in what month? November. Okay, let's do our months. Ready? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And November is the 11th month. And get our cards here. Okay, so we started out with who remembers. If you said one whole cookie, you're correct. So we started with one cookie, and then along came the bear and said chomp and ate that cookie. And then on day 3, we had a cookie divided in half. Okay, so there were 2 halves. And then yesterday, on the 4th, what happened? 2 dogs came, and they said, gulp, gulp, and ate up the cookie, right? They shared the cookie. So yesterday was the 4th, so today is the 5th. And I'll show you that card in just a second. And the year is 2020 still. Okay, yesterday was Wednesday, so today is Thursday. Let's say our days of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So our complete date for today is Thursday, November 5th, 2020. One more time. Ready? Thursday, November 5th, 2020. And I promised I would show you the 5th card. And it looks like this. So what do we see on today's card? We have the cookie again, but it's not an entire cookie like day 1 was. And it's not split in half like day 3. It is split into how many sections? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's an interesting development to our cookie mysteries. Okay, so we'll find out what's going to happen to this cookie that's into 4 sections, okay? So, again, if you need help with anything or get stuck, have any questions, let me know.